Welcome to our show. I'm Chris O'Lawless, and tonight we have updates from the Holliston Athletic Boosters, Destination Imagination, and Holliston's Walk for Cancer. Also an annual springtime event, the Holliston Sportsman's Club Trout Derby. Our first guest is Holliston's own naturalist, Marc Connolly. Welcome, Marc.
Hello.
Well, tell me, how did you first realize that you wanted to know and experience nature?
I guess I've been out in the woods since before I was almost born. So.
And how did that happen?
My mother was like an outdoor freak, and so she was into plants. So as soon as she could get me out of the house, and we were out. And
so she taught you things when you were out in the woods then?
Yes, edible plants, medicinal plants, and just a little of everything all around.
Did you, and how, from the time you were a little kid then, and you just kept doing it with her for years?
Yes. Yeah. And then I decided that there must be some way to live out here. So that kind of progressed into wanting to know just everything that was going on as far as animals and what you could eat. And
so what was your most interesting edible experience then?
Oh, well, I used to use my vacation time up just to go and see how long I could stay out in the woods. But I guess no normal mother would do this now, but when I was 13, they let me walk the long trail. It goes from the Canadian line, Vermont and Canada line, down to the Mass Connecticut line. Oh. And so that was fun.
You did that by yourself?
It took all summer.
Really?
They keep meeting me places.
Yep, supplying you with food. And,
yeah.
Yes. Have you plans to do any other long trails like that now that you're retired?
I want to do the AT.
Yeah.
So that's on the agenda for maybe a couple of years from now.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's from Georgia to Maine.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
So that looks fun.
Yeah. So in Holliston, though, let's get back to what kinds of things do you do in Holliston? What can we experience here in town?
Holliston has it all. So this is a great spot. I don't run into enough people, so I don't think that enough people are getting out and really finding out all the neat spots. The town forest, the conservation lands. There's a ton of different conservation lands. There's Wanakeening Woods. And then I see lots of people on the rail trail now, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. I'm just hoping to get a little more adventurous.
So it sounds like we have a lot of different kinds of different kinds of nature. We have vernal pools. I know you do a vernal pool walk.
Yes, lots of different terrain, lots of cool habitats all over town. Everything from the quarry, that we were talking about out behind Pinecrest, to vernal pools here and there, to some areas that are just interesting, really heavily forested. We're losing all our fields. That's my only disappointment is the fields are going. But we actually, should I mention it? We have a map. Yes. A lot of people don't know this, but conservation associates in town. So there's the Conservation Commission, and then the associates. I always say we're the ones that have fun, because they have to deal with septic system and wetland issues. We do the walks and talks and maintain the trails and try to keep the conservation lands up for people. And we also, every 2 or 3 years, update our maps. So you can actually go to the Town of Holliston's website, look up conservation. Usually it spells it out. Sometimes you have to go to the Conservation Commission, but sometimes the Conservation Associates is listed. Yep. I'm not good with that stuff, but we've got all the maps to each place, all the different conservation areas, and there's a description of what's you can find in each.
Well, that's really neat. So you can do the trail and and know what you're going and looking for.
You know where you're headed
yeah.
into, and some of the cool things you'll see while you're out there.
Yeah. So what's the most exciting thing that you've ever experienced when you've been out and about in Holliston? Or scariest?
Oh, I don't do scary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everything's too cool to be scary. I guess the coolest thing was I did have a deer come up behind me and push me, and it's like, what was that? Because usually things don't sneak up on me. But the deer in town are kind of cool. Oh. And if you blend in enough, they're very curious, so they come up to see you. Oh. They can't quite figure you out.
Okay. Because I know that I've seen coyotes, and I hear them out at night.
Yes. Yeah.
So we've got a lot of wildlife.
I run into coyotes here and there. They're good size.
Yeah.
They usually, they know you're in the woods.
And they'll stay away from you, though, right?
Yes. I've never had any bother me ever, even when I'm just sleeping out there. Yeah. I know they stroll by, but. Yeah.
What about the most rewarding experience you've had in one of your walks, or what do you get out of doing the walks with the associates and the citizens here?
I kind of like seeing the kids just realize there's a whole lot more than whatever's in that video game they're looking at.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
That's great. So the kids really respond to that.
A lot of them do. Yes.
Do you think they get out in nature enough?
No. No, I think it's unfortunate, and I realize it's due to curriculum constraints, but I really think every grade should have to go out and actually figure out what's going on outside. Probably will never happen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But
well, I think you're doing a good job of making that happen anyway. So
yeah, well, we get the interesting kids anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, and I really can't wait to get out and experience nature. So thank you, Marc, for making nature accessible and fun for Holliston.
Thanks for having me.
For over 35 years, the fish have been biting at the annual Holliston Sportsman's Club Trout Derby. Here's a picture from 1975. Each spring, the club stocks its pond with about 150 fresh trout. For $5, girls and boys up to age 16 can try their luck at this catch and keep event. Families get to enjoy donuts, coffee, and the members even grill up their famous hot dogs and hamburgers for a breakfast. There are free raffles for fishing gear all morning, and everyone gets a prize. Let's hear from the kids. It's the annual Trout Derby at the Holliston Sportsman's Club. Thanks, Marc. And we're here to talk to the families who are having a great time. Is this your first time here at the fishing derby?
No, I come a lot.
Oh, how come?
Because I like to fish. My dad likes fishing with me.
That's really cool. So you fish together. Where do you fish at other places?
In the Cape. We go over there over the summer for 3 weeks.
What's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
I caught a black bass when I was like 5. It was about this big, so that was pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is, have you ever won a prize here?
Yeah, I won first girl to get 3 fish last year and first girl to catch a fish 2 years before.
Did you catch anything today?
Yeah, I've caught 2 fish.
Yeah, I heard they were biting earlier.
Yeah, they were biting a lot earlier. No, not so much.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
So what do you, how do you know how to bait? What are you using for bait?
Right now I'm using a spinning lure, but before we were using power bait and fish eggs.
Oh, okay, so you were using some live bait and...
Yeah, we were using some live bait, and now we're just using a lure, which I caught 2 fish on the lure, so that seems to be the better option.
How long has this been going on?
It's been an annual event with us since 1948. We do it first Saturday of May every year, and been going strong since then.
They're having a lot of fun here today. Are the fish biting?
It's hit and miss, you know. Right in the beginning, we had a big run, and then I think they've had a bit to eat, so maybe it slows down for a bit, and it's really hard to tell. It's almost unpredictable.
How do you stock the pond? How does that process work?
So we have a local farmer who raises and stocks the fish, and they're brought to the pond about 5-6 days before the event. He transports them and he does all the work. He moves them from truck into the pond. It's a fairly simple transition. Then we just want to give them enough time so that they're comfortable in the pond and, you know, ready to go.
What kind of fish do you stock it with?
I believe they're called rainbow trout. I'm sorry, the best to answer that. There are also a few of what we affectionately called golden trout. They're a yellowish color. They're probably 1 to 10 ratio wise, and once in a while you see them get pulled out, but most of it's the rainbow trout.
And what's the biggest fish that you think they'll catch today?
Size-wise, I think we've seen a 15-inch fish in the record. I believe there was a 14.5-inch fish as well. They're probably around 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, that area.
You've done this a few times, huh?
Yeah, I've been here a couple of times. I won first place once here, and I got a golden bass once. Trout, sorry. And I also was the first girl to catch the first fish once.
And how did you do today?
Not so good. We haven't gotten anything. We've been here for, I think, an hour or maybe half an hour.
Yep, nothing yet.
Nothing yet, still.
Do you like to fish with your dad?
Yeah, I like to fish a lot. We also have, my grandma and grandpa have a place up in Maine where I like to fish a lot.
What kind of fish do you catch up there?
White perch, we like to catch a lot of them.
Oh, that's great. Now, what are we catching today? What's in this pond?
Trout.
Oh, okay. It's the Trout Derby. That's right. Yeah. So, how old are you?
I'm 11 years old.
And so, what else do you do other than fish? Is fishing your favorite thing?
Well, I like to fish and dive, and I also like to do dance.
Oh, wow, water sport. That's great. What's your favorite kind of bait? What are you using today?
Well, we like to use worms, and we also like to use power bait.
Today, you know, it's been a little quiet, but we're expecting to have a good day. So it's been a lot of fun.
This is Chris O'Lawless for the Heartbeat of Holliston.
The winners were, first to catch a fish, James LaChance and Madison Grace. The largest fish caught was Charlie Walker's with a 15 5/8" fish, and Jess Mark with a 15-inch fish. The Sportsman's Club hosts other community events such as a Boy Scout campout in the fall and safety courses. For more information, check out their website at www.hsanews.com. The mission of the Holliston Athletic Boosters Association, or HABA, is to provide opportunities for parents, alumni, and friends to support all 27 interscholastic sports teams at Holliston High School. We welcome Jill Sykes, the current president of HABA, to bring us up to date on their latest projects.
Thank you for having me.
Great, Jill. So what's happening this year with HABA?
Well, this year, HABA has finally completed its obligations for Phase 2 of the concession stand at the football field, the Comedian Field. That's our biggest accomplishment, but we continue to increase our membership dues, fundraise, and support all of our teams.
Do you actually buy uniforms, or what kind of support do you do for the teams?
We do not buy uniforms per school committee policy, but what we do is we support each team with a liaison. So each sport has a specific parent who helps the coach, and what we do provide is money for their banquets at the end of the season.
Oh, right, yeah.
The participation certificates that they get, including the honor athlete certificates. We also organize senior night, so that's the last home game for each sport for the seniors, and we get our flowers from Deborah's Flowers here in town.
Yeah.
We also have 2 scholarships that we provide at the senior awards night for membership. They're randomly selected for students who have paid their membership dues for all 4 years that they've been athletes.
Yeah, okay. Well, so the big project that's most visible to everyone is the new Comedian Field the sports facility there. I mean, we used to have this shack.
Yes, it's still there. It's still a shack.
Yeah. But now, in Phase 1, what did you accomplish building it with a lot of help from local volunteers and business people, right?
Yes.
And what's it, in Phase 1, what's there now? And Phase 2 is to come, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So Phase 1 was actually getting approval from the town to build the building, get the site surveyed, get our volunteers together to build it. There's a concession stand on one side that is now fully operational with running water, and which we haven't had until this fall. So we serve there. And then we have a spirit wear booth where you can buy Holliston High School apparel. And there's a large storage area on the far end that youth football, Holliston Youth Football and Cheer uses. The high school has a storage area, and then there's the space for the bathrooms.
Okay.
So that was Phase 1 to get the building built.
Yep. And I imagine that's been a really nice thing, having the concession stand right there and having, being able to take tickets right there.
Yes.
And now we're kind of in the big leagues now.
Right.
Yeah.
We just had windows installed on the ticket booths about 2 weeks ago, donated by Holliston Glass and Mirror.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's finally done.
Good. And so the last thing is, what's pending now? Tell us your story.
It took a long time, many years, to get the tight tank approved for the water.
That's for the running water?
That's for the gray water, yes.
Yeah,
all the water that is used and goes into waste. So the tight tank was put in the ground last summer, which allowed us then to have Jason Green with Green Plumbing came in and volunteered all this time and materials to do the sink, hot water heater, grease trap, and things needed in the concession area.
Yep.
We also have all of the water lines and rough plumbing from the exterior going into the bathrooms. And right now, so that completes HABA's obligation. The agreement that we had with school committee was that we would build the building and get a tight tank there, get the water into the building, and then hand it over to the school to actually complete the bathroom portion.
So how is that part going?
So we are in discussions right now with Dr. Jackson, and he's working with Mr. Boudet also to get bids to try to figure out how much they're going to bid out, how much the school department can do on their own. For example, we got all of the stalls donated from a movie theater renovation. So we actually have all the stalls ready to go.
Great. That's important.
So you never know where you're going to get your things.
So right now, it's the school department needs to get the bids and the funding, and it's up to them to find the funding.
Correct.
For this project. But it's been approved, so once that happens, there will be bathrooms. Is that?
Yes.
That's a great thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And nothing would, Nicole Bottomley, the principal at the high school, always says it just breaks her heart to when grandparents, anyone asks where the bathrooms are at a football game, and to say you have to walk across the field through a dark parking lot into the school to use a bathroom. And so we're very excited to have them on site.
Yeah. Well, I hope that the funding, you don't even have any, you're not going to be fundraising for this part either. It's all up to the school at this point. Okay. Correct. So what can people do to move this along?
To move this along, I would ask people to contact the administration at the Holliston Public Schools, Dr. Jackson's office, and ask him how the plans are going.
Yep. And maybe tell a story about my grandmother had a hard time getting to the bathroom, and sort of bringing the personal part into it.
The other thing is that once we have bathrooms on site, we can have a no reentry policy at the ticket gate. So cuts down on
security problems.
Improves security and cuts down on mischievousness.
That's actually I hadn't thought of that. That's a great opportunity then. That's good.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Jill, I'm sure this is going to happen. It's been a long haul.
It has been.
But you guys have done a great job so far. So thank you so much for telling us about it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.
I'm very proud.
So thanks, Jill, keeping our school spirit alive. And who are the Friends of the Library? This may be one of the most important groups in town that you never heard of. The Friends assist our library with volunteer help and financial support to fund projects and purchases that are not included in the library's annual budget. If you have ever been to a children's program, thank the Friends. They fund all children's and all adult programs, as well as most museum passes and things like large type books. They fund the latest technology through the electronic books and the Minuteman system. Their main source of income is the annual memberships, and you can join through Jensen Sheehan Insurance, and they are our local business partner. They provide insurance discounts if you're a member of the Friends. You can also buy great used children's and adult books at the library anytime, and they also sell Southwick Zoo tickets at a discount to you. The Friends are holding a meet, eat, and greet meeting for the community, just to socialize with other Friends members, officers, and the library trustees. So come by the library on Tuesday, June 13th at 6:30 for pizza and refreshments. You can RSVP to Janice Korn at janicehelenkorn@msn.com. Now, let's meet our library director, Leslie McDonnell, in Who Are You in Real Life?
Hi, I'm here today with Leslie McDonnell. She's the director of the Town of Holliston Library. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Ann.
So nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask you some questions. They're designed to help us to get to know you as a regular person.
Okay.
Okay. So starting off, where did you grow up?
I was born on an Army base on the Mexican border, Fort Huachuca. My dad was in the Army at the time. And then we lived in Phoenix after we got out of the Army, in Phoenix, Arizona. And then when I was 7, we moved to upstate New York. And I lived there until my 30s.
Oh, wow.
I came to Massachusetts.
Several places. Yeah. Oh, how nice. Okay, tell me, Leslie, who was the most influential person in your life?
I think probably my mother. She was a single parent. She was very independent. She raised 3 kids on her own. And she was very smart. I think I learned a lot from her. She was a secretary, and I think she always wanted us to do well and be independent, and I think I learned that from her. So I would say she was my mother. Yeah.
Those are great lessons.
They are.
Life lessons.
Good example.
Yeah. So I know you don't live in Holliston, but can you tell me, where do you live?
I live in Mansfield, and I came from New York for a job there in 1994, and I continued to live there. I met my husband, got married, and it's a nice town. Like Holliston, it's a nice town.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, tell us, how did you get your job here?
I was looking for something different. I'd been at Mansfield for a while, and this came up. And when I came to interview, one of the trustees, Lorraine Warby, said to me, Holliston is a really special place, and the library is a special place. And I thought, yeah, I know everybody says that. Of course they love their town and their library. But it became, when I got the job, it became clear to me early on that it really was. Yes. It really is a special place, and the library is a special place too. And now I think, okay, I think just like everyone else, it is. It is special. Yes. So I just applied for it. It was drivable, and I just got such a nice, warm feeling that people loved their town and loved their library and were supportive.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes all the difference.
It does.
And I think a town library is a treasure.
It is.
I wish more people appreciated it.
Yeah, and it serves everybody from, we say the cradle to the grave, and it is nice when there's a warm feeling there, and there was. I could see that.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, how about this? Do you have a favorite food?
Eggplant Parmesan. You see, I did not even hesitate.
That's a great one. That's a great answer. I myself love that. Okay. How about a favorite TV show?
Oh, I've been... There's so many good ones. I've been watching the show called Timeless, that they're in a time machine and they go to different parts. I love history, different places in history, and sometimes they accidentally change the future, and I've been watching that, so that comes to mind right away. I like things that are on PBS. Everyone seems to love This Is Us, so I'm going to start watching that on demand so I can catch up and be in the know.
No, it's important.
Yep.
How about a favorite movie?
Oh, I really love old movies a lot. You know, one of my favorites is Vertigo, which is an Alfred Hitchcock. I also love Rebecca, which is one of my favorite books by Daphne du Maurier. So I like a lot of, you know, old movies. You know, I always kind of go back to them again. I really enjoy the old movies, yeah.
Well, you mentioned a book. Do you have a favorite type of book?
I think probably my favorite author and my favorite book is Tessa the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy.
What? My favorite author of all time!
I love him. You know, he's not as well known today as he was, so I think this is funny. I meet someone who loves him too. He just was a wonderful writer. His female characters never seemed silly or stupid. They always were like ahead of their time. They were individual human beings. And I just love his work. It's just wonderful. I discovered it in high school, and I go back to those books over and over again.
Oh, it makes me so happy to hear that, because I don't know anyone else who ever says Thomas Hardy is their favorite.
We don't run into our...
We need our own club.
We need our own club.
Right. If there are any other people out in Holliston that are Thomas Hardy fans, get in touch.
He really is a very memorable character.
Yes.
Not perfect, but memorable.
I think there are some people that would know, like they might know the character Tess, but they couldn't make the connection to Thomas Hardy and then to any of his other works. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. All right, how many books a week do you read? Do you blow through them, or
I don't read as many as I would like, because I'm really busy. But I try to get through one every like 2 weeks or so. I also read because we have a book club. So I have to read things for the book club as well, and so not as much as maybe somebody who was retired or somebody who's just had a little extra time. But boy, I do like to read. It's the thing I like to get to as most as I can.
Well, do you have any other hobbies? Do you have even time for other hobbies?
I do. I also listen to books on audio. A lot of people don't realize it makes a long car ride, or even a short a regular car ride, so nice. So people should think about audiobooks too. They increase the amount of time you can read, and if you can't read, you'll find you're able to read by listening to a book. So that's wonderful. I enjoy doing that. I also volunteer at a cat shelter. I go in once a week. I clean, I give medicine, feed, socialize, do laundry, clean floors, do all kinds of things like that, and help cats become as adoptable as they can, so they can find a forever home.
And I know for some people that might sound like drudgery, but it's not when you're doing it for something that's
if you love animals,
worthwhile.
I really love animals. You get to know them, and sometimes they never find a home, but the shelter becomes their home, and they need someone to see who's familiar and is loving and kind to them, because they may never find a home for one reason or another.
Right.
So
they still need that interaction.
They do, because that is going to be their home forever.
Right.
So
I see.
So it's been really rewarding, very rewarding.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, do you have a dream job? What is your dream job?
I always feel like I found my dream job when I got out of college and I went to library school. I worked in a library for a short time, and I thought, I love this, because you learn something new every day. You get to be with people. You get to be around books and knowledge. So for me, having lucked out right out of college into librarianship, it is my dream job. And I've always loved small libraries, because you get to know people. They're not real compartmentalized, so you're doing a little bit of everything. So that really has been my dream job. And
so lucky.
I guess I feel more attached to Holliston, I think, than any job I've ever had. It's just been wonderful.
So probably the only thing that could improve your current dream job is if there were a library cat. Have you seen that book, Dewey the Library Cat?
I know.
We need a cat in the library.
Wow.
That would be fun.
I know.
But maybe it wouldn't go over as well as we think it would.
Allergies,
Yes, exactly.
But there are libraries that have them. You're right.
Yes. How about, do you have a favorite place in Holliston?
Oh, I think Holliston is so pretty. There's so many unique things. I remember the first time I saw, the Arch Bridge, and I thought, you couldn't create a prettier little thing that's unique. I think there's so many. The rail trail is lovely. You look down that, and it's just so. It's like out of a picture postcard.
Right.
It's just so pretty, you know.
I agree.
So many
pretty much
things.
everything about the town.
There is, yeah. And I hate to use this word quaint, but it is quaint, yeah, and friendly, and just a sweet little town. Yeah.
It is. We love our town.
Yeah, it is, truly. Yeah.
Well, Leslie, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
What a pleasure talking with you.
This was fun.
Yes, it was. For the Heartbeat of Holliston, this is Ann Jay.
Be sure to stock up on gently used children's books for summer vacation. The Friends thank you for your support. Another annual event is Holliston's Walk Against Cancer. Inspired by Holliston resident Marianne Miller's battle with breast cancer, this all-volunteer fundraiser has been bringing the community together every fall for 15 years to give back to the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Katie Connors has been a volunteer since the beginning. Welcome, Katie.
Thanks, Christo.
So, 15 years, hundreds of miles, hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds of thousands of
dollars. How'd you keep the spirit going?
You know, the spirit is a magic thing because it's not just us that kept it going, of course. We like to think of I love that we're on the Heartbeat of Holliston because I feel like that's exactly what this event is about, is just picking up on that heartbeat. The spirit of the walk has continued and strengthened over the years, in part from our incredible sponsors. We have very, very generous financial sponsors, such as Main Effort Financial and Dr. Edmund Jacobson, who are our big banner sponsors. Stephen Morris Snow from Access and Roll, Perkins Electric, Robbins Beef.
Do those all have a personal, sort of a personal connection to cancer? Is that why they're...
Not all of them, no. I don't even know all the connections. People are just, for a variety of reasons. Some people do, you know, it's sadly a disease that touches so many lives, but also people really love the event and are happy to support an event that makes such a big difference and that draws such a big group. So we have scores of volunteers. We have people who donate prizes to our raffle, it's supposed to be called an opportunity drawing. And our silent auction donors, unreal. Like every year something surprises us. We get luggage and trips and jewelry and gift baskets. People hand make baskets just because they want to and donate beautiful things. We have so many talented people in Holliston, and they just keep adding.
So it's an effort of love, sort of, from hundreds of people here in Holliston, and the walk goes on. It's changed its venue over the years. Now you're mostly on the rail trail, I guess.
Actually, we just tried a new route last year, and it did incorporate a part of the rail trail. It was a bit more of a downtown walk. Our traditional route was 5 miles, and we made it a 5K. And we did find that was very popular with our busy walkers who have so many other things going on. They were appreciative of a route that they could do quickly, and it was so scenic, and it was a perfect day, and we ended up on the rail trail, and we went by Mary Ellen Miller's memorial bench on the way back.
Oh, right.
So that was a special little piece to incorporate in the last loop there.
Yeah.
So Mary Ellen was our founder in 2003, and her dedication is our inspiration. She wanted to give back to Dana-Farber because of how good they had been to her and what great treatment she received there.
Yeah. So how is this fundraiser unique from some of the other fundraisers and walks around?
You know, I haven't compared it specifically to too many others, but one thing that we're very proud of is the fact that 100% of Walker-raised money goes directly to Dana-Farber. All of our costs are covered by our sponsors and donors, corporate donors. And actually, we've been noted by Dana-Farber for being really good at running on a shoestring budget. So we keep our costs really, really low. We keep everything covered. And 100% plus of what we bring in from walkers, and even a little more, goes to Dana-Farber. And the great thing about the kind of money we raise is, unlike grant money or corporate money or even institutional money from research institutions. There are no strings attached with our money, so we give it to Dana-Farber, and Dana-Farber can figure out where the most important need is to meet, and the dollars go right there to those researchers, doctors, patient care, whatever they need. It doesn't take long for it to start having an impact.
Wow, yeah. So Holliston really does make a difference for the institution.
Yeah, and they're surprised to hear what a little town we are. And
really?
We gather, around 350, 400 walkers every year, and that's a lot of people for a little place like Holliston. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten any personal feedback, like direct feedback from someone, or
you mean at Dana-Farber about the difference that we've made?
Or someone you've helped, or
we hear a lot from survivors who every year, sadly, somebody who didn't expect to be up there in that survivor group joins that group, and they're always very touched by the time we take at the beginning of the walk to honor our survivors. We have a blessing and a gift for them, and that's, I think, a special touch. Maybe other walks do that too, but most people tell us that feels really special at the beginning of our walk. We have heard back from Dana-Farber about specific projects that got funded, soon after our donations came in.
But all good things must come to an end, I guess.
Well,
what's the future?
Yes, perhaps. So we are definitely planning this as our 15th and final, kind of like a grand finale. That's what we're thinking about. We're absolutely open to any leadership group, any set of women that wants to step forward, or men that want to come and step in our shoes. We will dust them off and hand them over. But we haven't had any surge of interest directly saying, yep, we want to take the walk and run with it. But if that happens, we are perfectly happy to train anybody who comes along. But our leadership group has put in a good, hard, wonderful 15 years, and it feels like the right time to kind of wrap it up and put a big bow on it, so that we don't ever run the risk of it dwindling. We aren't dwindling, and we don't want it to dwindle.
Let's go out on top.
Go out on a bang. Yeah.
Oh, Katie, that's a great thing to say. That's cool.
I think it's a really positive way to wrap it up, and we're hoping to make this year the biggest and best. So we want people to show up. We want extra sponsors. We want to make more money than ever. We want to make a big impact, a big splash, and we're going to have some extra gifts for people. We're going to make it feel special and fun. And so we hope that walkers who haven't come in a few years will maybe come back for that last hurrah, and new people who've always thought they'd like to try and haven't gone, come on over. We want to have you. So our website is easy to find, hollistonwalks.org, and everything you need to know is there. Our contact information is there, and we can answer any questions you need.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can't wait till the fall.
Yeah, October 15th, Sunday, October 15th.
All right.
Hope to see you there.
We'll be there.
Sounds great.
Just think of the difference in people's lives that this walk has made. It's truly one of the heartbeats of Holliston. On a previous show, Heartbeat followed the Destination Imagination team Gray Red as they planned the Holliston Film Festival. Now we bring you the latest news about other Holliston Destination Imagination successes. 3 of our teams made it to the international level of the competition, and that's a record for Holliston. Teams from all over the world are coming to Knoxville, Tennessee, May 24th to the 27th to participate. Holliston's DI Swirls is a team of 8th graders who've been working together for 5 years. This year they solved the Science Top Secret Challenge, where they learned about encryption, coding and decoding, and created a presentation about a secret mission. Their presentation about a math student's brain was delivered in rhyming prose with creative props and set. The Neon Owls, which is a 5th grade team, tackled the Project Outreach, Ready, Willing, and Fable Challenge. For their project, they focused on the importance of shoveling and clearing our town's 900-plus hydrants. They created a fable presentation set in China to describe their project and what they learned. The Barking Donuts is another 5th grade team that competed in the Improv Challenge 3-Peat. For their challenge, they performed 3 short skits. The Barking Donuts also performed at the Providence Improv Guild in Providence, Rhode Island. To support the teams as they travel to represent Holliston on a global level, donations can be made through Holliston's PTO with Holliston DI in the memo line. And if you notice a donation jar at one of the local businesses you support, please consider making a donation. I just love the creative names these teams come up with, and good luck representing Holliston in global competition. Today, Holliston said goodbye to a fine citizen and friend. Bill Tobin was most recently known as a co-founder of Holliston Reporter with Paul Saulnier and Bobby Blair, giving us the news on the town he loved so well. He was active in the Knights of Columbus, Lions Club, and so much more. His dedication to Holliston and ready smile will be sorely missed. Our condolences go out to Bill's family. That's a wrap for this show. Let me remind viewers that you can watch Heartbeat of Holliston every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 7 p.m. on Channel 8 on Comcast and Channel 32 on Verizon. The show is also televised at other times. Check the HCAT schedule. There are many other ways to watch us. You can use any electronic device with video on demand at www.hcattv.org. Click on Video to find us. We can now even stream video on your phone. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to join all the others who are watching Heartbeat on YouTube, and check out our Facebook page. If you don't get email blasts from HCAT TV, you can. We send out announcements when new shows are scheduled to air. Please contact us by email at office@hcattv.org or call 508-429-8979. With an e-blast, you'll never miss a show you want to watch. One last note, we welcome your comments and ideas at hoh@hcattv.org. Thanks for joining us, and good night, Holliston.